Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. In the last episode, Evelyn was just exploring this little study nook area, and we were going to have a chat with Edric over here. How you doing, buddy?
Do you need something? If not, step back. You're in my light.
I'm sorry, I will leave you alone. Your light, I'll stand where I please. Your light?
I'm trying to study. Have some consideration for a fellow mage.
Very well, I will leave you alone. I don't take orders from elves. You're well spoken for an elf. You're just an apprentice, not a mage. I will say, if you're playing an elf, Edric is a lot friendlier. Like, he'll ask where you come from, and he goes on a little bit of a tangent of not exactly saying the elves will rise up and kill the humans, but words to that effect, sort of. Not 2 or 3. I don't think Evelyn has actually ever met an elf from an alienage. By which I mean an elf who has lived their life in an alienage. So she wouldn't know if he's well spoken for an elf. I mean, she was a noble in Kirkwall, and she was only 5. So she probably doesn't really remember that any elves from that time. And she wouldn't put him down by saying he's just an apprentice. So it seems we're not having that much of a conversation with Edric. Very well, I will leave you alone.
Good day.
Good day to you too, Edric. I hope your studying goes well. And Senior Enchanter Sweeney.
Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met. Are you new to the circle?
You might remember me as an apprentice. I'm a newly harrowed mage, but I've lived here all my life. Are you daft? I've seen you in here many times. Evelyn wouldn't be so rude as to say number 3. I think it's probably pretty well known that Sweeney's getting on a bit and he's having memory problems. You might remember me as an apprentice?
I'm sorry. There are so many of you, and I get confused. Not to mention, these old eyes are starting to go.
Everyone makes mistakes. Starting, I'd say they've already gone. Maybe someone could help you fix them. Magic can do many things. Maybe magic could fix his eyesight. Maybe someone could help you fix them.
You're too kind. I'm old and about to fall apart. Nothing in the world can fix that.
If you say so, magic could. You should rest more, not be in the library. Yeah, Evelyn puts a lot of faith in magic. With magic, anything is possible in her mind. Magic could.
Not any magic I'd be caught doing. Anyway, did you need something?
That is a good point. I don't think it would have even entered Evelyn's mind that she was talking about blood magic. And then as soon as he said that, she'd kind of be like, oh no, what a terrible thing for me to think. I just wanted to talk. I think I should go. I just wanted to talk.
I'm not good at talking. Too much chatter makes my head throb. Don't you have lessons to get to? Shoo!
Okay, Sweeney. Yeah, he's an old fella. He should be allowed to look at his books in peace. Hello down there.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't hear you come in. I'm sorry. I'm terribly busy right now. I have to prepare the room before the Grey Warden is done at his meeting with Irving.
There's a Grey Warden here? What's a Grey Warden? I won't bother you then. Evelyn would know what a Grey Warden is, just because the Circle has an extensive library, so I imagine she would have read up about them. There's a Grey Warden here?
Yes, Duncan his name is. He must be here to talk to Irving about something important. You know, I almost became a Grey Warden once.
Really? You're lying. I thought you said you were busy. Really?
There were several of us chosen, though the Grey Wardens only wanted one recruit. They only ever have one mage, you see. I think they thought I was the best candidate, but I was young and foolish, and I said I wasn't interested. They picked someone else instead, and that was that. I've regretted it ever since. Ah well, I should get back to my work.
I think what he means there, it's not that there's only ever one mage in all of the Grey Wardens, it's that they'll pick one mage from each tower. So there'll be a mage from Kinloch Hold, there'll be a mage from the Circle in Ravane, there'll be a mage from Cumberland and Kirkwall and etc, etc. Or at least I'm assuming that's what they mean. And then that's not including any hedge mages they recruit. Oh, hello, I'll be having you. Again, another ugly hat. Finn'd probably like it, but not Evelyn.
Ah, there you are. You are to be moved out of the apprentices' dormitory, and these are to be your new quarters. The Tranquil will move your belongings this afternoon. Go on, make yourself comfortable.
Look at this. This is all Evelyn's. We've got our own armoire, our own little bathtub. Look at this bed. Look at how big it is compared to the bunks. Oh, she'd be so proud. She would be so proud to be moving up into these quarters.
Everyone's so happy for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir.
I should have been sent to help the King's army. I dislike being stuck here while something big is happening.
Now that would be confusing. This is the first Evelyn's heard of that mages are being sent to help out the army. Firstly, I think she'd be thinking, I wonder why that is. Who will be fighting? And then her second thought would be, why can't I go? Not necessarily because she wants to fight. Again, it's just that she wants to go outside.
Oh, hello. I'm glad to see your harrowing went smoothly.
I need to go. Hello, Cullen. Why are you stuttering? What do you care? As I said, Evelyn, very friendly to the Templars. Cullen was present at our harrowing, and I think Evelyn probably just assumes Cullen has a natural stutter. Like, that's just how he talks. She probably doesn't realise that he only gains the stutter when he's talking to her. As I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, Evelyn doesn't really pick up very well on flirting, even though Cullen isn't properly flirting with us, but like he definitely has a crush, and Evelyn just cannot pick up on that. Hello, Cullen.
They picked me as the Templar to strike the killing blow if you became an abomination. It's nothing personal, I swear. I'm just glad you're all right, you know?
I thought all Templars liked killing mages. Would you really have struck me down? I knew I would not fail my harrowing. Not number one. Evelyn knows that not to be the case. And he would have struck her down, she hopes. As I mentioned before, the thing that kind of made Evelyn feel more secure about her harrowing was that if she failed and became an abomination, then there were Templars who would kill her before she did any true damage. Also, I said this before, Evelyn is quite confident in her abilities, so I don't think she ever thought for a second that she would fail her harrowing, but if she did, she wouldn't do any harm. I knew I would not fail my harrowing.
You've always been so confident, or so I hear. I've heard of failed harrowings, and the consequences were unpleasant.
I need to go. I shouldn't distract you from your duties. I've no more time to discuss this. Yeah, I think just just from his posture, he seems very nervous. I think Evelyn can pick up on that, and she's probably thinking, oh, I'm distracting him. It's like all those other times when I've gone up to the Templars to start a conversation, and they've basically told me, go away, I'm working, and Cullen's just being far too polite. That's probably what's going on here. I shouldn't distract you from your duties.
Oh, you're not distracting? I mean, you are, but... well, you're not. I mean, you can talk to me anytime, if you want. Yes. Maybe we can talk another time.
Yeah, I think Evelyn would be like, yeah, of course we can, Cullen. Completely missing the subtext. Ooh. Hello, sir.
I wonder how the King's army fares at Ostagar. I've heard talk of a new blight.
A blight? Oh dear, well that would explain why the Grey Warden is here. And that would explain why mages are going. Who better to fight the Darkspawn than mages? We can stand far back and we have the best healers. So I think Evelyn's starting to put together why Duncan is here, I would think. The cardinal rules of magic. You must not be under the misimpression that magic is all-powerful. There are limits, and not even the greatest mages may overcome them. No one, for instance, has found any means of travelling, either over great distances or small ones, beyond putting one foot in front of the other. The immutable nature of the physical world prevents this. So no, you may not simply pop over to Minrathous to borrow a cup of sugar, nor may you magic the essay you forgot in the apprentice dormitory to your desk. You will simply have to be prepared, unless you have an alluvian, in which case maybe, I don't know. Similarly, even when you send your mind into the Fade, your body remains behind. Only once has this barrier been overcome, and reputedly, the spell required 2/3 of the lyrium in the Tevinter Imperium, as well as the lifeblood of several hundred slaves. The results were utterly disastrous, unless you're the Inquisitor and travelling with, I don't know, some champion of Kirkwall and a random Grey One, then maybe things might be better, but again, I don't know. Finally, life is finite. A truly great healer may bring someone back from the very precipice of death when breath and heartbeat have ceased, but the spirit still clings to life. But once the spirit has fled the body, it cannot be recalled. That is no failing of your skills or power, it is simply reality. I don't think this has ever been proven false in the timeline, in the franchise. Yeah, I think this one is still good. From the lectures of First Enchanter Wenceslas. Anything else in here? Oh, an armoire.
Very well.
Oh, and another shelf. With just some private documents. Okay. Yep, that's it. What is through here? Ah, the storeroom, I believe.
I'd avoid Leora if I were you. She's been rather testy lately.
Who? Why? I'll do that, thanks. I think Evelyn would know who Leora is. She recently, gained control of the stockroom. Why?
Who knows? I'm not going to ask her why she's irritable. Women hate those kind of questions. She won't even let us get extra supplies from the cavern stalls. Just keeps it locked up and pretends she hasn't heard us asking. I should get back to my experiments. I wouldn't want anything to blow up while I'm talking to you.
Neither would I, sir. That would be horrible.
I hear Irving's very proud of you.
I would hope so too. Irving has always taken a special interest in Evelyn.
It will be done.
Maleficarum. Oh. It has been asked, what are Maleficarum? How shall we know them? I have been as troubled by this question as you. You have come to me for the wisdom of the Maker, but none have seen the Maker's heart save beloved Andraste. And so I have done as all mortals must, and looked to the words of his prophet for answers. And there I found respite from a troubled mind. For she has said to us, magic exists to serve man, and never to rule over him. Therefore, I say to you, they who work magic which dominates the minds and hearts of others, they have transgressed the Maker's laws. Also, Our Lady said to us, those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and accursed by the Maker. And so it is made clear to me, as it should be to us all, that magic which fuels itself by harming others, by the letting of blood, is hated by the Maker. Those mages who honour the Maker and keep his laws we welcome as our brothers and sisters. Those who reject the laws of the Maker and the words of his prophet are apostate. They shall be cast out and given no place among us. From the sermons of Justinian I. This makes Evelyn feel very sad. As I mentioned many times before, her friend Reda escaped from the circle 6 months prior using blood magic, and the fact that Reda, wherever she is now, if she's alive, will be viewed as Maleficarum, that makes Evelyn very sad. Because Reda wasn't a bad person, at least not in Evelyn's mind. She was troubled and she was unhappy, and she just didn't want to be unhappy anymore. And Reda would never, dominate the minds of other people, and she only hurt the Templars that were guarding the big doors. She only hurt people that she had to hurt to get out. She didn't, do any unnecessary, I'm using air quotes there, unnecessary damage. And so Evelyn, she wants to see the best in her friend. But at the same time, she did use blood magic, and she lied, and she hid things. But she was unhappy, and should she have been, doomed to live the rest of her life miserably? Evelyn, she's just very conflicted. It makes her very upset when she thinks of Reda.
Oh, it's you. I hear Irving's looking for you.
She doesn't seem all that irritable to me, sir.
Ah, this is infuriating. Another batch destroyed. Say, have you seen Owain? Is he in the stockroom?
Yes, I just spoke to him. I don't know. Why would he be anywhere else? No, he isn't. Yeah, we just spoke to him. Yes, I just spoke to him.
Oh, excellent. He wasn't there last I looked. I hope he still has some cinnabar lying around. When I asked last week, he said he was running out. And I know there's some in the caverns, but Leora just keeps that door locked and won't let any of us in there.
Why? You mean that door in the wall? Caverns? Evelyn would know that there are caverns behind that door, and of course he means the door in the wall. Why?
I don't know. She won't say. Well, enough talk. I need to head to the stockroom to see if I can pry more supplies from Owain.
Well, I'm sure Leora has her reasons for not letting people in the caverns. Oh, and there's Owain. Ah, the chantry. Very nice, very peaceful. I don't necessarily know if Evelyn would spend an extended amount of time here. I think she spends most of her time in the libraries. But, she does come here to pray. She is Andrastian. The Rite of Annulment. In the 83rd year of the Glory Age, one of the mages of the Navaran Circle was found practicing forbidden magic. The Templars executed him swiftly, but this brewed discontent among I'm going to try that again. But this brewed discontent among the Navara Circle. The mages made several magical attacks against the Templars, vengeance for the executed mage, but the Knight Commander was unable to track down which were responsible. 3 months later, the mages summoned a demon and turned it loose against their Templar watchers. Demons, however, are not easily controlled. After killing the first wave of Templars who tried to contain it, the demon took possession of one of its summoners. The resulting abomination slaughtered Templars and Mages both before escaping into the countryside. The Grand Cleric sent a legion of Templars to hunt the fugitive. They killed the abomination a year later, but by that time it had slain 70 people. Divine Galatea, responding to the catastrophe in Navarra and hoping to prevent further incidents, granted all the Grand Clerics of the Chantry the power to purge a circle entirely if they rule it irredeemable. This rite of annulment has been performed 17 times in the last 700 years. From Of Fires, Circles and Templars, A History of Magic in the Chantry by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. Here's the thing. Abominations are dangerous. By extension, mages are dangerous. And I think that by trying to say, oh, mages are no more dangerous than anyone else, is ignoring an inherent problem. If a regular person wants to kill another regular person, then they've got to, let's say with a sword, they've got to draw their sword, approach the person and attack, at which point hopefully the victim, the would-be victim, sees the person approaching them with a sword and thinks, nah, I don't like this, and they can run away, compared to a mage who could be a ways away, snap of their fingers, fireball, that person is dead. And mages attract malicious spirits. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that mages deserve to be punished. They didn't ask to be mages, they were born that way. It's not their fault, but we do need precautions. Templars are a necessity. They just shouldn't be controlled by the Chantry. They should be working hand in hand with the mages, not... They should be guarding the mages, not jailing the mages, if you get what I mean. Hello, Keili.
Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker.
Stay silent. What are you doing? It's pretty obvious she's praying, and we don't want to be rude.
Blessed are the penitents who seek his return. Blessed is the prophetess, purified by flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition. So let it be. Oh, I didn't see you there. I recite the Maker's blessings every day. It brings me peace in troubled times.
I should not interrupt your meditations. Are you in trouble? Just speaking words brings you peace. I don't find comfort in such things. Yeah, I think she'd be very concerned by that last part. Are you in danger? What's going on with you? Are you in trouble?
No, not really. It's just... I don't want to bore you with this.
I should not interrupt your meditations. It's all right. I want to know. I'm sure it isn't boring. You're probably right. Goodbye. I'm sure it isn't boring.
It gives me hope that one day the Maker will hear us. That maybe I'll be forgiven and my curse will be lifted.
Your problems do not concern me. Curse? Humanity will always be tainted. I don't think the Maker really cares. Curse?
Magic. What else?
Magic isn't a curse. You don't like having this power? You're being foolish. Magic is a gift. Magic has made me suffer too. Yeah, Evelyn does view magic as a gift just because she's had it from being so young. As I mentioned in her backstory, she can't actually remember a time when she couldn't do magic. Magic is very much a part of her, very much a part of who she is. And the idea of hating that part of herself is inconceivable. Magic isn't a curse.
Magic causes such misery. It's dangerous and vile and wicked. The Chantry must protect the world from us. Being born with something so terrible must be a punishment. I wish I could be rid of it.
You could ask to be made tranquil. So do I, but I make do. You could use your abilities to help people. I hope you succeed in turning the Maker's gaze on you. Only a fool would not appreciate this talent. You could use your abilities to help people.
That doesn't take magic. If I could, I would dedicate my life to the Chantry, but they would never take me in. Perhaps this is just something I will have to suffer through. I should go. My mentor only allows a few minutes each day for religious contemplation.
I think Evelyn feels badly for Keili. Evelyn isn't really sure where Keili came from. Like, for all Evelyn knows, Keili could have had, you know, a really tight-knit, loving family. Maybe she developed magic when she was, like, 12, and thus being taken away would be far more traumatic compared to, you know, a very small child who can adapt quite quickly. So maybe getting taken by the Templars was a very traumatic experience for Keili. Not that getting taken by the Templars wasn't traumatic for Evelyn. It wasn't the Templars, it was her mother's response to Evelyn being taken. I think Evelyn has a recurring nightmare. She doesn't get it too often, but when she's kind of anxious before she goes to sleep, it's the exact moment as she was being led across the square. If you skipped her backstory, you won't know this, but as she was being led across the square, her mother, who had been kept in like a side room so that she wouldn't interfere in Evelyn being taken, she managed to break out and she came screaming across the square, this normally very poised, very elegant, you know, like, we must keep a stiff upper lip and not show our neighbours any weakness, very noble lady, suddenly was, you know, manic-eyed, you know, her hair all over the place, came hurtling out of the house, screaming in broad daylight, you know, "Give me back my baby!" You know, that kind of thing. And she tripped on the cobbles, slammed down onto the ground. She was also heavily pregnant at the time, and she just started kind of howling, you know, in, you know, like tears coming down her face, screaming, crying in the streets. And that is the one memory Evelyn has of her mother. That last thing, all of the nice experiences she had with her mum have all kind of been overshadowed by the last time she ever saw Revka. And that makes her very sad. Not getting taken by the Templars, but that one memory she has of her mother, that upsets her as well. But as I said, she is happy that she did come to the circle. She's learned so much here. The founding of the Chantry. Cordelius Draken, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year -15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastian belief to the world. In -3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Draken knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned the ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor, to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Alessa of Mosimar was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia in honour of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the divine age began. From Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Very nice. Anyone else in... Well, there is another person in here. Lily. Andraste, Bride of the Maker. We read this one. Yeah, we read this one in the Human Noble Origin, so I will skip that.
Yes.
The Chant of Light, the Blight. And I think we also... Yes, we also read this one in the Human Noble Origin. The Maker. And this one, actually. Yes, okay. Now then, miss, are you alright?
I heard about your harrowing. Congratulations. Andraste must have smiled upon you.
Oh, thank you, miss. I don't think Evelyn would be, you know, so bold as say, oh, Andraste smiled down and gave me her blessing. But I think it is kind of a comfort. Is that Irving's office? It is. Okay, you know what? I am just about out of time for this episode, so I'm going to stop right here. In the next episode, we will finally speak to Irving. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.